Hey, Coach, you closed very well. In your estimation, why was that? What happened that allowed Richmond to close so well?
Well, I would say good, experienced players, John. David Davidson's very good. They played Texas to a 2-point game. They have a road win themselves in the league already. Their offense was, as good tonight as we've seen it. And then also they pounded the ball inside and really went for offensive rebounds. A lot of times a team that plays with so much motion and ball movement, they don't necessarily get a lot of offensive rebounds or are in position to get offensive rebounds. And they really did a good job of those two things tonight. I would say we closed because we have good players. I think when we were down 5, we were in a timeout. The huddle was very calm, and just talked about, hey, in order to stop them, we all need to play together. That's the kind of pressure they put on you. In order to score, we all need to play together. And we had some really nice baskets late. Grant drove and flipped it to Nate for a little basket. The press really helped us, creating some turnovers, putting some indecision and pressure into Davidson. But mainly, I think, because we have pretty good players. I mean, we have really good players, and we've been in these situations before. And I think that was the key.
Could you assess Tyler Burton's maturation here? Obviously, he's doing things and showing some initiative that you'd like to see, I guess.
Yeah, if that's what initiative is, John, we'd really love to see that. John, are you here?
I am here. I'm right up here.
Hey, there he is. Yeah, he's, as I've said, I think he's going to be one of the great players to ever play at Richmond. And, he's demonstrating that. He can just do so many things, and his rebounding is great and potentially elite. He had a huge steal and dunk. He had the big shot. I think it went from down 1 to 8-1. His little pull-up jump shot. And I think he's going to, as he gets older and older, he's going to be able to score in the post regularly. He can handle the ball well. He can defend different players. He's a special player.
And moving forward, shorthanded here, how do you feel about that?
Not great. I think we were the deepest team we've ever had a few months ago, and probably one of the deepest teams in the country. And now you lose. We're down a starter, 6th man, and a 7th man. That's a lot. I need to trust and I need to give the guys opportunities more when they make a mistake. That's the key. Is it's easy to put them in there, and if things are going great, to leave them in there. But I need to give them more opportunities when things aren't going well. They need to they need to do their best, and I need to give them those opportunities. And again, we've played such a challenging schedule. It hasn't felt like, usually you have the opportunity to say, hey, in the Moorhead State game, we're able to get guys in, pull them out. Jai Bailey, Isaiah played a lot. We haven't really had many games like that, and our opponents have been really, really good. So I need to do that. I need to be clear with them that I'm doing that, and everybody, and then hold myself to it, because those guys can help. They're good players, and we're going to need them.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Coach, Tyler spoke a little bit about, and while it wasn't perfect and there were Davidson runs, he felt you guys made a step towards putting together 2 consistent halves, playing 40 minutes of better basketball. How would you feel about that assessment and just having a little more consistent effort tonight than in past?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they're naturally going to be runs. You watch college basketball, the hardest thing to do is follow it on your phone, because you think a team's pulling ahead, and, next time you look down, they're losing. So yeah, I think it was good. Davidson is really good. I would say that. And so, they lose very, very rarely at home, very rarely. So to be able to win here is a significant achievement. It really is. And so, I'm just really impressed. I'm always impressed with Davidson, but even more so this year. So yeah, to be able to come down on the road, and, even more impressively, because they did have runs. They did play well. They did put pressure on us. To be able to win and kind of have the final run of the game was a great accomplishment.
You guys obviously made the decision to send students home for Christmas break, and seems like went well. Everyone, no positive tests. Did that go smoothly? How was that? Because obviously, there are worries. You're sending guys home and bringing them back onto campus.
Yeah, that went smoothly in terms of those guys getting home, getting back. The travel was good. We didn't have any positive tests, so that's very good. I told the guys the other day how much I have appreciated how they've handled this whole thing. This has been, Noah, what year are you in school?
Junior.
Junior. Okay. So this has really been a challenge for, it's obviously the worst thing is if somebody has passed away or somebody that's passed away or it's really affected somebody. But, being in college at this point is very different, unusual. It takes a challenge. It takes a little bit more dedication than maybe you're used to. And so I think the guys have really handled themselves extremely well. And I'm really glad they got to go home for Christmas.
Hey, Chris, congratulations on the win.
Thanks, Sean.
I asked Tyler about did he feel that the Hofstra finish might have crept up in the guy's head, which enabled you guys to finish the way that you did. I'll ask you the same thing. Did you get the sense that maybe that finish crept in, maybe in a timeout huddle, and the guys were talking amongst themselves about that for you guys to finish the way that you did?
Yeah, I think your most recent game, especially a setback, is kind of there. And then you're worried about what happened. And, if we try the same strategy again, well, the strategy doesn't work because it didn't work last time. But one thing I will say is, I do think that we were calm. And then the guys, there was Jordan Gately was great in the huddles. I thought the guys were really good in the huddles and talking to each other, trying to make sure that we understood. And, being an older team, we can be calm. We're not just addressing the previous mistakes. We're certainly not bringing up the Hofstra game or anything like that. But yeah, I think it's there because, look, this is college basketball. It's rarely 4-0, 10-2, 25-10, game over. It just rarely is. Davidson cares an awful lot about basketball. They have really good players who try as hard as they can. And since we play so often, we have very different we've adjusted very often to each other's offenses and game plans. So it's really challenging. That's why what makes it exciting and fun, but it's really challenging. So I think we did a good enough job in saying, hey, let's just make sure we're together. A good play might happen or a bad play. And I try to remind the guy, we were in the huddle with about 5:50 to go. And I just said, this is 20 more minutes. This is 25 more minutes of real time.
Mm-hmm.
Just stay calm. Let's be together. We decided to press, which ended up really helping us in a big way. But I thought our guys maintained their composure.
And if I can ask, you mentioned it briefly about the bench, and I think you said it after the Hofstra game. You got to have more trust in the guys to, I guess, show you that they can, do the things that you've asked. And I want to ask, is there a moment or why do you feel that there's not a lot of trust with certain guys off the bench that you need in certain situations, maybe like tonight?
Sure. Well, I don't think it's as much about that I don't have trust in them. It's just that I have so much trust in the guys who are in the game.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So, I do trust those guys. And I do see that they have to get in and develop and play through good and bad. But I have so much trust in Grant and Jacob and Blake and Nathan. So that's where it's hard. When you put a guy in, you got to take a guy out. And so, but the reason I'm telling you this is because they haven't done anything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It just needs to be and again, if it was more of a full non-conference schedule with a few games where we were really, probably going to win and those guys can play more, that really helps their development. When every game is just tight and exciting and how many games are there going to be and all those kind of stuff, it usually leaving the veteran guy in,
mm-hmm.
who's usually an old league player, is where I come to.
Will Andre be back, do you think, for Saturday?
Yeah, we're going to have to see. I'm not sure. He's just been getting treatment. So, this is one of those things we really like him to be totally healed. But he just needs to see how he feels when he wakes up tomorrow and goes through his whole progression tomorrow.
Gotcha. Thanks, Chris.
Hey, Coach. Brent had some issues with turnovers, early on in the season here. Only registered one tonight, 22 points. Do you think this was his most complete game of the season so far?
Yeah, I thought he was great. He had a couple of block shots. He came up with some big plays down the stretch of the game. he was terrific. And, being out here, this is his, I guess his fourth time playing down here. A big part of their defensive strategy is about Grant and not letting him be one-on-one on the post, not showing him a double team too soon. So to be able to combat that with a really good game, I thought the play where he drove baseline and flipped it to Nate was a beautiful play, and a play not many 6'10" guys can make. So yeah, I think this was his best game, and I thought he was tremendous, especially given that they're trying to focus so much attention on him.
Anything else for Coach Gus?
Chris, a follow-up on Grant.
Yep.
I know that you're getting him a lot of rest during the media timeout, especially first half. Second straight game in second half where it's that second media timeout where your opponent made a run and you weren't maybe getting the kind of support from your bench that you needed. Is there a temptation to put him out there and leave him out there earlier in the second half, or how do you manage that? That's a tough one because you want him to touch the ball on every possession.
Right. Yeah, and even more today. Today's challenging because you're going to be running around so much on defense too. Their center's involved in their offense, not only getting the ball inside, but having the ball in the perimeter. He made a 3-point shot today, so it's a lot. It's a lot to ask of him. He wants to go in and play every minute. Which I support and understand and I appreciate. But it is tough, Matt. And I thought they used their bench better than we did tonight. Even though it turned out that we made the run at the end of the game, but I thought they really used their bench nicely tonight. And I was just a little bit stuck there in the second half. So it's difficult. I think the biggest thing is for Sal and Matt to step up and do everything we're asking them to do and then some, and just give tremendous effort when they're in the game and more minutes.
Tyler, could you say a word or two about that three that Blake hit late that kind of gave you the breathing room in the last minute or so? Shot clock winding down.
Huge. And I shoot with him every day after practice. He makes shots like that all the time. I was shocked that he made it, but I wasn't shocked at the same time. He works on that stuff all the time.
And how about coming in shorthanded with a couple guards down, and what was the focus trying to get past that problem?
You can't feel sorry for yourselves. Feeling sorry for yourself is just something that's going to hurt you in the long run. And I don't think we did that tonight. I think we came out. We had a little bit of adversity. I think we came out, played strong, and got a good win.
Thank you.
Tyler, you guys obviously finished the game a little bit the way you wanted to tonight and, forced a couple turnovers on that full court pressure. You obviously stole the ball in bounds. Can you kind of speak on that late game pressure and really just finishing on an 11-2 run like that?
Yeah, we haven't been able to really piece two halves together so far this year. And I think today we kind of took a big step towards doing that. We had a little bit of a let-off coming out. I think it was this first or second media. They went on a little run. But I think we did a good job of really buckling down at the end of the half and really grinding out the swing.
Hey, Tyler, how much did the Hofstra finish creep in your guys' mind in those final 2.5, 3 minutes?
It didn't leave. I think going into Christmas break, losing the Hofstra, it always stinks going back home on a loss. You hear it from your family, hear it from your friends. How do you lose? What not? And it just rings in your head. And then having this little break, coming back at basically 100%. Obviously, some guys are down, but our bodies are feeling good. I believe G texted me on Christmas Day. He was in the gym, and he was like, "I'm ready to rock. I'm ready to come out to Davidson and really win and get a win." So I think we were all ready to go from the get today.
You hit some big shots in the second half, in that key run at the end of the game. What is it about that moment, and what have your teammates said to you to kind of give you the confidence that when they need a big shot, they go to you?
Just on the day-to-day, just telling me that I have a chance to be great here. Everyone believes in me. I believe in myself. And at the end of the day, I think it comes down to not thinking, actually. Just going out and doing what you know you can do. You don't have to prove anything to anybody except for yourself, and just not thinking and making the basketball play.
Thanks, Tyler. Congrats, man.
Thank you.